Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
ज्योतिर शुक्लः षण्मासा उत्तरायणं तत्र प्रयात गच्छन्ति ब्रह्मविदो जनः. Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery god. In the light, at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north. Purpose. When firelight day and fortnight of the moon are mentioned, it is to be understood that over all of them there are various presiding deities who make arrangement for the passage of the soul. At the time of death, the mind carries one of the paths toward new life. If one leaves the body at the time designated above, either accidentally or by arrangement, it is possible for him to attain the impersonal Brahmajyoti. Mystics who are advanced in yoga practice can arrange the time and place to leave the body. Others have no control. If by accident they leave at an auspicious moment, then they will not return to the cycle of birth and death. But otherwise, there is every possibility that they will have to return. However, for the pure devotee in Krishna consciousness, there is no fear of returning, whether he leaves the body at an auspicious or inauspicious moment, by accident or arrangement.
Dumo Ratristata Krishna Sanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandra Tatra Chan Tatra Chandramasam Jyotir Yogi Prapya Nivartate. The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6 months, when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back. In the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapila Muni mentions that those who are expert in fruitive activities and sacrificial methods on earth attain to the moon at the death. These elevated souls live on the moon for about 10,000 years by demigod calculations and enjoy life by drinking Somarasa. They eventually return to earth. This means that on the moon there are higher classes of living beings, though they may not be perceived by the gross senses. Hare Krishna.
प्रभु जी मेरा एक पेज मिसिंग है गीता में से, तो कंटिन्यू करेंगे, मेरे पास वो पेज है नहीं जो कंटिन्यू कर सकते।
शुक्ल कृष्णे गति ही एते जगत शाश्वते मते एकया याति अनावृत्तिम अन्याया वर्तते पुनः. Translation. According to the Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in night and one in darkness, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns. Purport. The same description of departure and return is quoted by Acharya Baldev Vidyabhushan from the Chandogya Upanishad 5.10.3-5. Those who are fruitive laborers and philosophical speculators from time immemorial are constantly going and coming. Actually, they do not attain ultimate salvation, for they do not surrender to Krishna.
Light Laporta, it does not complete.
Yeah, next.
Naite Shriti Partha Jnayan Yogi Mukhyati yogi muhyati kashana tasmat sarveshu khaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. Krishna is here advising Arjuna that he should not be disturbed by the different paths the soul can take when leaving the material world. A devotee of the Supreme Lord should not worry whether he will depart by arrangement or by accident. The devotee should be firmly established in Krishna consciousness and chant Hare Krishna. He should know that that concern over either of these two paths is troublesome. The best way to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness is to be always dovetailed in his service, and this will make one's path to the spiritual kingdom safe, certain, and direct. The word yoga yukta is especially significant in this verse. One who is in firm yoga is constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness in all his activities. The Sri Rupa Goswami advises anashaktasya vishyan yatharham upayunjatah. One should be unattached in material affairs and do everything in Krishna consciousness. By this system, which is called Yukta Vairagya, one attains perfection. Therefore, the devotee is not disturbed by these descriptions because he knows that his passage to the supreme abode is guaranteed by devotional service. 2 minutes एक और का पढ़ लेते हैं. वेदेषु वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपषु चैव दानेषु यत् पुण्यबलं प्रदिष्टम् अद्येति तत् सर्वम् इदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानम् उपैति चाद्यम्.
A person who accepts the path of devotional service does not benefit of the results derived from studying the Vedas. Performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities, simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. But this verse is the summation of the 7th and 8th chapter, which particularly deal with Krishna consciousness and devotional service. One has to study the Vedas under the guidance of the spiritual master and undergo many austerities and penances while living under his care. A brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master just like a servant, and he must beg alms from door to door and bring them to the spiritual master. He takes food only under the master's order, and if the master neglects to call the student for food that day, the student fasts. These are some of the Vedic principles for observing brahmacharya. After the student studies the Vedas under the master for some time, at least from age 5 to 20, he becomes a man of perfect character. Study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation of armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. After this training, the brahmachari is allowed to enter into household life and marry. When he is householder, he has to perform many sacrifices so that he may achieve further enlightenment. He must also give charity according to the country, time, and candidate, discriminating among charity in goodness, in fashion, and in ignorance, as described in Bhagavad Gita. Then, after retiring from household life, upon accepting the order of Vanaprastha, he undergoes several penances, living in forest, dressing with tree bark, not shaving, etc., by carrying out the orders of Brahmacharya. Householder life, Vanaprastha, and finally sannyasa. One becomes elevated to the perfectional stage of life. Some are then elevated to the heavenly kingdom, and when they become even more advanced, they are liberated in the spiritual sky. Either in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti or in the Vaikuntha planet or Krishna Loka. This is the path outlined by Vedic literatures. The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of the different orders of life. The words idam viditva indicate that one should understand the instructions given by Sri Krishna in this chapter and the 7 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. One should try to understand these chapters not by scholarship or mental speculation but by hearing them in association with devotees. Chapter 7 through 12 are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 and the last 6 chapters are like coverings for the middle 6 chapters, which are especially protected by the Lord. One is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, especially these middle 6 chapters, in the association of devotees. Then his life at once becomes glorified beyond all penances, sacrifices, charity, speculation, etc. For one can achieve all the results of these activities simply by Krishna consciousness. One who has a little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, because in the beginning of the 4th chapter, it is stated clearly that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees. No one else can perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee of Krishna, not from mental speculators. This is a sign of faith. When one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets a devotee's association, one actually begins to study and understand Bhagavad Gita. By advancement in the association or the devotee, one is placed in devotional service, and this service dispels all one's misgivings about Krishna or God and Krishna's activities, form, pastimes, name, and other features. After these misgivings have been perfectly cleared away, one becomes fixed in one's study. Then one relishes the study of Bhagavad Gita and attains the state of feeling always Krishna conscious. In the advanced stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. This highest perfectional stage of life enables the devotee to be transferred to Krishna's abode in the spiritual sky, Goloka Vrindavana, where the devotee becomes eternally happy. Thus, in the Bhakti Vedanta purport to the 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in the matter of attaining the Siddhi.